There was a period in time in this country when it took 90% of the people to produce the food for the rest of us. Now, less than 3% of the population is farmers. Less than 3% of the people produce all the food for all of us, all the restaurants. When the farming died down and industrial wave came along, and working in a factory and working on an assembly line, that was where it was at. Well, then that kind of died down. At one point, we had 70% of our population worked in factories. That kind of died down, and it's about 15% or so now and falling. So the next wave was these office jobs, the new modern corporation top-down management structure. Well, Harry's research indicates that there's another wave that we're just entering now, called the new networked corporation, where you're going to have instead of mass production, you're going to have mass specialization. Something like a model like Michael Dell uses with Dell computers. You know, Dell keeps 7 days of inventory on site. 7 days. They make your computer for you. And that's, the baby boomers, again, are pushing this. Baby boomers are a very innovative bunch, and they're demanding consumers. They want what they want, and they want it now. And that is changing things. Now, the reason this is a little bit scary, if you recognize that change is coming, and these left-brain jobs, accounting, engineering, computers, those are the manufacturing jobs of yesteryear. Now, you may not be ready to hear that if that's your business plan and that's your model. And I could have had the same conversation 50 years ago with somebody in manufacturing, or 30 years ago, who said, no, you don't understand, manufacturing's going to be everywhere, there's going to be cars everywhere. I don't disagree. We're very bullish on technology, but the jobs are being taken by computers, just like the manufacturing jobs. There's one of the airports, I forget which, probably someone here knows, one of the airports has a giant robot on display, and it does the work of what used to take hundreds of people. It creates cars and picks up 1,000-pound blocks of metal with absolute precision. That is the wave of the future, and if you're a database administrator or an IT expert, you're in a good place now, but mark my words, right now, today, is the most people we're ever going to see in technology jobs. It's going to be just like manufacturing. It's falling every day, starting today and tomorrow. There's going to be people laid off in these jobs, and they're going to be replaced by less people. It'll be just like manufacturing, and that's scary. Change can be scary, but the great thing about change is understanding it. If you understand it, you can take advantage of it. You don't have to be like Gutenberg. It's very, very difficult to hold your hand up and say, I want to stop the change. Had you been a horse and buggy manufacturer in 1920, who would have wanted to fight that wave of automobiles? I don't care how good your business plan is, how excited you are, that's not going to be a good plan. So you want to understand these changes and make them a part of your whole life. You look at the chart that we handed out on this spending wave, you'll notice one of the clear points, when the baby boomers stop spending, we're predicting a major drop in the market. Understanding this change is crucial for your life planning. Now, if you're retiring right around 2008 or so, you want to be able to consider these whole things. You can use these kind of tools, the S-curve, the generation wave, understanding demographics, to really do quite well. And you can be just like the person I mentioned, somebody made a lot of money off the printing press. Many people have over history. You don't have to be the great innovator. You just have to understand the big picture trends and the patterns. So we talked a little bit about what really drives the economy, understanding these trends and taking advantage of them. Where are people going to spend in the future? You look at this baby boomer wave particularly. Tom touched on it a little bit, so if you're paying attention, I should get the answers pretty quickly. Anybody remember what Tom said? What are going to be the key areas that these baby boomers are going to invest in? Go ahead, shout it out. Healthcare, financials, service, technology. Travel and leisure is another one he didn't mention. There's a lot of baby boomers who are going to be traveling now as they get into semi-retirement. Somebody is turning age 55 every 7 seconds. In this country, every 7 seconds. That's astounding. A lot of those people are going to need health care. So understanding these kind of trends is crucial. If you're in a business that markets something to 30-year-olds, well, you may want to reconsider. You'd be much better off in a business that markets something to 55-year-olds. You understand that? Okay. I'll just talk about one more thing before I close. A lot of people ask me about the war and September 11th and what effect that has on the big picture economy. How does it affect our research? Does it matter? You know, the terrorists that attacked our country on September 11th, they aimed to take a shot at the most visible symbol of our economy. They understood that we are an economic-based country. We're all about capitalism and democracy, so they took a shot at the biggest target they could find. Right away, I think they were behind the curve. We had 30,000 people that were saved on the morning of September 11th by New York's finest. 30,000 people were saved, and right away there was a huge outpouring of support. People in Luxembourg and Johannesburg and Sydney and London pledged their support. There was candlelight vigils for this country. There was people that had flights that were in areas like Newfoundland and Iceland, where tiny little towns came forward and they gave medical supplies and diapers and medicine to the passengers of the planes. The whole world came together. The president and the mayor of New York asked us to go and spend money. Why? Because spending drives our economy. They didn't need to say that, though, you know, because these are trends that no one can stop. The trends and the patterns that we have can't be stopped by Greenspan or Congress, and they sure can't be stopped by terrorists. If you bet against the system as a whole, you bet against the world, you're going to be wrong. And if you bet against America and you bet against trends and you bet against democracy and capitalism, you're going to lose. These trends are bigger than you and I. They're bigger than the terrorists. They're bigger than Greenspan. You can't fight them. You can't stop them. You can't understand them. So what drives the economy? Okay, I'm going to give a prize to all of you. You're all going to get a copy, a free 3-month subscription to Harry Dent's newsletter. Thank you. Talks about these kind of trends. Now, who has read the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Raise your hand. All right, wow, 85, 90% of the people. Okay, who can name all 7 habits? 5 people. You got to use the materials that you get. Don't take the newsletter and say, great, and don't use it. You got to use it and understand it. It's crucial. All right, you've learned what drives the economy, what really drives it, and how to take advantage of it. I hope it's been helpful. I'm just about out of time. Thank you very much. Do I have time for questions? No time for questions. All right, what I'll do then, I don't have time for questions. We're on a tight schedule, and I know they have some surprises lined up for you later. You could put my phone number on there. We also have information outside. I'll be happy to get to every single question you have. Go ahead and write this down. You can schedule a phone appointment with me. I can review your individual situation if you want. That's even better than asking a question in front of a whole group. No charge, no obligation or anything like that. I love doing this kind of thing. We have a booth outside. My business card is there. Feel free to take it. You can talk to me. I'll be around for the rest of the conference. You can talk to the other experts from Harry Dent. And any questions that you have, feel free to give me a call. Thank you very much. You've been great. Thank you. Thank you.
Bruce Fenton, ladies and gentlemen. Give Bruce a huge hand, please. Good job. Good job.